Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Podcast Beyond.
Beyond!
What episode are we on? We're 27?
27. New Year's.
27. First podcast Beyond of 2008, 2008. I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. How was your all's New Year's?
Good.
Awesome. I played Rock Band.
Fantastical.
Was okay.
Surfed.
It was all right. You surfed like waves or the internet?
Waves.
Huh.
Hawaii.
Where'd you go in Hawaii?
Yeah, Oahu.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Let's get things kicking with the 2008 first one of the Roper Report.
Time for some news.
Let's see. So there's some pretty interesting stuff here. Let's see. Far Cry 2 was announced for the PS3 and 360. If you want to play some Far Cry 2, Valve announced that they may not be working on an orange box patch.
Ooh.
That one's hard to say for some reason. Yeah. So Valve said, "Well, hey, this is our bread and butter game, and even though EA UK handled the port, people are sad with how it runs on the PS3, for good reason." So Valve's like, "Well, we might go out and help try to fix it. So what are the problems, and maybe we'll do something about it."
Maybe.
Interesting.
That sure would be nice. Although, by the time that they get around to it, I imagine a lot of people that really cared in the first place would have already played through it. But that's good. Let's see. Little Big Planet is coming out, hopefully, by Sony's plans, in September in Europe. Is there any? I didn't see this, but was there any word on the U.S. release?
Not that I saw.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Word. Sad.
So,
Sad word.
but remember, this is the internets, and everyone is on the
Everything
internets everywhere.
changes every second of the day.
So, what I mean is, if it comes out in Europe online in September, people all over the world will be able to
Well,
get
they don't
that.
speak American over there.
That's right. They speak British.
Putting U's everywhere.
Yeah.
Color.
What are they doing?
What does that even mean?
And then
Color.
You don't know what you're getting.
I know.
Sony announced some pretty good holiday sales. Pretty good numbers. What was it? 1.2 million PS3s
Almost
over
4
since
million.
Black Friday.
Something like that. Jeff wrote it.
Yeah, it was almost 4 million across all three systems, so
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then lastly,
too
a
shabby.
bit of news that came out of CES, which is going on right now in good old gambling capital of Las Vegas, is that Sony will be releasing Skype for the PSP, the new version. It won't apply to the old PSP, but the new PSP Slim, you'll be able to get Skype. It'll come via a firmware update. You don't have to buy this thing. It just kind of shows up eventually. If you've never used Skype before, it's sort of like an internet, like an IP phone sort of, so you can do free Skype to Skype calling. So you can call somebody on a PSP or a PC or whatever. You can call landlines and cell phones if you pay for like credits for those things. You will need a mic to run it, which Sony's going to release a version of the Walkman mic in Japan for this system, which would be like 2,500 yen or something like that, which is about $25. In the U.S., TBD on what's going to happen there, but imagine you can use like your SOCOM mics or whatever.
Is this a big deal?
I don't know. Not really.
Yeah. All right, cool. Skype.
Yeah.
I don't use it on my PC.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's one extra thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's the end of the news.
Yay.
Very exciting.
Woo-hoo.
Very exciting first one. Yeah, that's great. Greg,
Yeah.
do you have a little list for us?
I do have a list real quick. Chris Roper, editor-in-chief of the PlayStation Channel. Editors, Jeff Haynes and Greg Miller. Associate editor, Ryan Clements.
Yes, editor.
That's right.
We were so excited to jump into podcast.
I'm so
Beyond,
excited.
We
I
just
forgot
went.
to do the introduction.
Feel that funk.
Everybody
knows.
hung up right away.
Everybody knows who
They
we are
were
by now.
Skyping this and stopped immediately. What year is this? 2001. The PlayStation 2 is the most games coming out this week.
Why don't we need the official? I didn't read off the title.
This is Greg Miller with the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all three platforms by the IGN editors. Thank you, Ryan.
You're
Up
welcome.
on PS3. Hey, Jeff, it's NFL Tour.
Oh yeah.
You excited?
No.
I downloaded the demo, but have yet to play it.
I've been playing the preview version,
Yeah.
which is still a little like it's got a couple bugs and a few other things, so it's not the full thing. It's okay. It's not as strong as the other NFL Street games have been, but that's supposed to come out tomorrow. We still haven't seen our review copies yet, so
That
hopefully
doesn't usually bode well.
yeah. So hopefully we'll see them at some point. Hopefully later today, so I can actually try out the final and get the review done. Possibly by tomorrow if I can just blaze through it. Otherwise, it'll probably be a little bit later this week.
All right. Over on everybody's favorite portable, it's Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Yours truly reviewing that one, playing it right now.
How is it?
It's not bad. I mean, it's I don't know. You're playing a Harvey Birdman episode, so it's got all that irreverent humor, and then I don't know. It's like the Phoenix Wright games, you know. You just walk around, point and click and stuff, but.
You were laughing a lot. When you were
it's really
playing
funny.
it.
It's literally just like the show. So
Sweet.
no Colbert though. Very upset that Stephen Colbert did not lend his voice to this one. But he's the only noticeable absence.
Did
I think.
he stop
that's criminal,
doing
though.
the show also, or is he still
Writers
doing
Guild.
the show?
He's still doing the show. Well, you mean
voicing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant his show.
No.
I'm not sure what his deal with Harvey Birdman is. I think he's still doing it.
Oh, okay.
And then on PS2, huge week, Dance Dance Revolution Disney Channel edition.
Oh, yeah.
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I'll also be reviewing that. Sonic Riders, Zero Gravity, and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Beginning of Destiny.
The beginning.
Can you feel it?
I'll have to get that. Very
There you
nice.
go. Save your pennies. Big week for the PS2.
Lots of titles
Yes.
of varying importance, I guess you could say. Yeah, well, it's only the very beginning of 2008. We got a lot of other stuff.
Worst year ever for games.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's a disaster so far. Do we have a topic of the week?
No, we didn't talk at all before we jumped
We
into the
didn't
show.
talk about
I don't
topic of the
believe
week.
we do.
Let's talk about.
You want to do? Okay, you go ahead. You're in charge.
Let's talk about 2008
Oh,
and
yeah.
what we expect to see from Sony in 2008.
I'm very
So
excited.
wait, we got to do this right. It's time for topic of the week.
Oh, sorry. Topic of the week.
All right, so as previously announced, the topic of the week is going to be 2008 predictions for Sony. Let's focus on less on the games themselves, but what Sony needs to do to make 2008 a good year, to hopefully jump up out of third place, step up the hardware sales, et cetera, et cetera.
They need to focus on everything they got going for them. I think, even though we're not supposed to talk about games, they have a lot of good games coming up, especially right out of the gate here in the spring, first half of the year for sure. So, they definitely have coming into the holiday season, I was excited for other systems lineups more than Sony's, even though there were great games coming. But now, definitely, I'm way more excited for what they have coming up in terms of games and stuff. I think you're starting to see people take advantage of what the system can do. Burnout Paradise, we talk about all the time, but the stuff they're doing with the friends list on the D-pad, the PlayStation Eye, that's just awesome.
Yeah, well, it seems to me that a lot of Nintendo and Microsoft had a lot of their big games that were coming up are already out now, and Halo 3's out, Mario's out, Mass Effect is out, all that kind of stuff. So the Sony has the biggest games still yet on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I think that's a strong thing for them. And we saw in the past couple months that the advertising campaign finally got underway for the PS3, which they never really did before.
Yeah.
So finally, there's a good advertising campaign. The price is, it's been at $400 for a little while now, which is finally a reasonable price. Nobody dropped any sort of price in it, for the year
Black
end
Fridays
or
anything, yeah.
or via CES, which I thought Microsoft maybe could have done, but they didn't. So it looks like Sony right now has the brightest
This is
future
their chance.
over the next 6 months or so. The only thing Nintendo has coming out is Super Smash Brothers.
What they redated that since?
I think it's February 10th.
Really, and I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. But Microsoft's got some stuff. Games like Ninja Gaiden and whatnot on the
Too Human?
horizon.
Is that still coming out this year or no?
It's supposed to, but who knows?
Who knows what's going on with that? But a lot of the other games that are coming out are all cross-platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then looking at Sony's exclusive titles, there's a whole crapload of those. So. We get this giant list here.
It's still there.
Yeah.
We
Giant-
all still
That's an old list.
That
And we
thing's
add
been there
to
for
it
like
all
8
the
months.
time.
Wow, yeah.
But Sony's got a lot looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Ryan, chime in on this one.
I hate going last because I remember.
No, Jeff's not last.
You're
Jeff
not
hasn't
last.
gone
I'm
yet.
last,
That's why.
dude.
That's why I
God,
called
don't
you.
forget
Oh,
him.
yeah, that's true.
Jeez.
Sorry, Jeff.
Ass out of there.
I don't know if this is true because I didn't get an official press release on this, but did you guys hear whether or not Sony changed the advertising company that does their advertising or not, or do they still have the same company? I thought I read something about how they changed it. So the company that did the commercials with the morphing black PS3 that we really liked recently may not be doing their commercials anymore, which I'm a little worried about because those commercials were really cool and they were doing really well. So if Sony can keep up with advertising, despite the fact that they may or may not have changed their advertising company, then I could very well see that being the best thing that they could do right now for this new year. Is just keep strong with advertising, and as you said, Rope, stick with showing off the fact that they're the only ones with like huge exclusive titles coming out this year. That's about it.
Jeff,
Okay.
you had something to say?
Well, I think that there are a couple things that they could do. I think one is they can capitalize on Warner Brothers doing the whole declaration for Blu-ray, because that's a huge strike for Blu-ray in the format and putting a nail in the coffin of the format war in favor of Blu-ray. I think that's going to be a huge endorsement. Two, I think something that actually came out over the holiday break, which is doing something like the DMC4 bundle for PS3 in Japan. They could bring that over across all markets and actually have that start to be the whole push of here's the beginning of DualShock, here's the beginning of what you want, this is why you really want a PS3. I mean, they did the same thing for the 360 with DMC4, but nobody buys 360 in Japan anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I think if they start pushing out like these huge titles that you really can see an incredible game experience on the PS3, and you do this as a bundle and say this is why you really want this system, it's a huge way of pushing the hardware. I think going off of what we had in the news, like if you have this whole thing with almost 4 million units sold, that's a huge plus for Sony. I mean, they've got a lot of momentum, which they can probably just ride all the way through, especially if they start getting a lot of these really huge titles like Burnout, like DMC4, like Killzone, all these other ones that we expect in spring to come out and really show off what the system can do.
I wouldn't mind seeing that integrated into ads right now. If when they start up again, they start showing clips from DMC4 and then 4.9 million sold or whatever, and then back. So I mean, because right now you figure the biggest. I was reading on the boards over the weekend. There was a kid in there talking about how he met a gaming girl and he was so excited to meet a girl who talked about games, and they were chatting up games or whatever. And she had a 360 and she wouldn't shut up about it. And she's like, "Well, what do you have?" And he's like, "Well, I have a Wii." And she crapped all over that. And then she's like, and then he's like, "I have a PS3." And she's all, "Oh, I hear they break all the time and they don't sell and yada yada."
What?
And then one guy's like, "Where would you hear this point?" And the guy's like, "EB and GameStop," which is true. I mean, I do know. I've heard many stories of people, the counter people talking people about 360, chatting that up rather than PS3.
Yeah.
So if you could get popular opinion swayed on that.
My guess is that they probably would wind up doing a huge media blitz around Super Bowl time, because that's when usually all the really big ads that's kind of set the tone of the year start coming out. So it wouldn't really surprise me if Sony bought up a couple ad spots for a couple million, ran them throughout the Super Bowl when they know everybody's going to be watching, and they just have that be like the start of their spring campaign, because it's just going to be like this whole rollover. I mean, it's either that or sometime during the playoffs you start to see maybe one trickle out, and then Super Bowl is a huge blitz.
If they could get out and say Metal Gear, Killzone, Little Big Planet, DualShock 3, I mean, they could. I mean, that would just be such a momentum.
Well, I think now that they've put the holiday ones like aside, because obviously all the old ones, like the rotating PS3, the transforming one, was focusing on Ratchet, Uncharted, stuff like that. Even though they can still have those in, which they probably will. Like if they start focusing more on Gran Turismo 5. MGS4, like all the ones that are coming up that everybody really, really wants, and maybe put flashes of the older ones in. You've got your ad campaign right there.
Yeah.
All very good points.
Exciting times to be
Very
Sony
exciting
fan.
times. Now, speaking, Jeff, you mentioned the Warner going specifically to Blu-ray. That ties in nicely to Mailbag.
Read milk,
Milk,
milk, female, train milk.
It's just dissolved into screams now.
That's a good one. Let me skip ahead. Here we go. Prodigy 99 wants to know that because now that the Warner announcement has happened, which again, Warner announced that they were both HD DVD and Blu-ray previously, but at CES they announced that they're going exclusively to Blu-ray, which then caused it was such a huge announcement. First off, Warner was the biggest, from what I've read, was the largest DVD releasing studio. Like they released something like 18 to 20% of the DVDs out on the market. So this announcement that they were Blu-ray exclusive was so big that the HD DVD consortium just canceled their press release, like
Their
hours
conference,
or
right?
like hours or the press conference, like hours or whatever before it's supposed to happen, which is pretty crazy. So. Prodigy 99 wants to know that now this announcement has happened, do we think that it'll have an effect on the amount of consoles that are sold, seeing that PS3 is the most versatile Blu-ray player in the market? People bought a PS2 as a DVD player, et cetera, et cetera. I think
If
this will
Sony
happen.
starts promoting that even more than they already have, because again, like if they did the commercials and threw that up there.
Well, I mean, there's one on the PSN right now where you can download it and see like what they're highlighting, which is just movies on PS3. It's the same ad, like transforming PS3, but they're focusing on Pirates of the Caribbean, Ratatouille, like all these other current Blu-ray movies that are out right now.
But is that on anywhere else? Just the PSN?
No,
is it on TV
I mean,
yet?
like they've shown it on TV, but like
okay.
they just put the downloadable version of it out on the PSN. But I think it's huge. I mean, aside from the fact that you have like the other side basically canceling because they have to scramble and figure out what they need to do. You've got all these studios going over to Blu-ray because people are buying it. They don't have to buy other add-ons and all this other stuff. Plus, you have the fact that the PS3 right now at $399 is the exact same price as the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market, but those Blu-ray players don't play games. They don't do music. They don't do anything else. So, I mean, that and the fact that they sold 1.2 million during the holidays, huge push. Even if you have the 5 free Blu-ray deal and everything else, I mean, if studios aren't seeing that they can get their movies into homes because of this, and then push it out to all these other people that just happen to have the system, like I really can't see how HD DVD is really going to come back, especially now that Bill Gates confirmed there is no Ultimate 360. There is no like internal like HD DVD 360 coming out anytime soon.
Well, they couldn't really have done that because they would have screwed over the 17 or 18 million people that already have a 360 anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, that would have been like the Sega CD.
Yeah, it definitely would. But
Didn't that
that's
work
the
out?
thing.
I had one of those.
But that's the thing, is that
CD.
like, you know, if you have this system that already does all this, that's a huge blow to Microsoft's like HD DVD support.
I always had a good feeling about Blu-ray. I knew it would do well.
Good job.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good job jumping on the bandwagon.
Right there in the corner.
All right, continuing on with Reader Man here.
No.
Let's see.
Wow. You gonna warn people to turn their volume down?
Jergrah, Jergrah. Jergrah.
Wow.
Let me see.
Greg, help me out with
Number
that
one?
one. Yeah, number
Long time
one.
listener, first time writer.
That's Jergrah.
Jergrah. All right, whatever. Wants to know what games got most of our playing time over the holidays?
Ooh.
Greg, why don't you kick this one off?
I played many games over the holidays. So I played Ratchet and Clank. I played Folklore. I played some Mario. I played Zack and Wiki. I played more Resident Evil 4. I'm trying to crank that through that. I finished Bioshock finally. There's some other ones too. More of the Burnout demo. I love that thing. Can't wait for that game.
You got a lot done.
I did. I
It's
committed.
impressive.
I'm
Did you beat all of those, or did you just play them?
As everyone, most beat, some just played.
Wow.
I mean, I just needed to get a taste. I'm sorry. I know I'll be lynched for it eventually. I was not in the mood to play Mario. Like, I look at it and I know it's a good game, but it was like, all right. So I mean, I beat it. I made sure I beat it, but then like, it just sucked up some. I mean, I wasn't having fun by the end of it. But it's not because it's bad. It's just not what I felt like playing. You know how this is, everybody. Come on. But I had to play it. Had to have that frame of reference. Anyways, though, yes, I am still currently on a. I'm sorry, we're getting off on track, but screw it, because I'm doing it. I've never been a gamer to keep a library, generally, ever since I had to start paying for my own games. Back when Mom and Dad were buying games, I had a Genesis library, sure. But after that, once it was on my own, I just trade everything. So now, through IGN, I've amassed this giant library, but I am currently beating everything I can and selling it off because my New Year's resolution is to buy a PS3. And I am only $200 away in trading credit, which might sound like a lot to an average person, but I have a feeling I'll be done with it in like 3 weeks.
Right on.
Or so, because I need to play through all these games I have piled up. And then I'll be back where I need to be, even though it's not a big deal that I take my PS3 home. You're all a bunch of jerks. Stupid fanboys.
Well, then you have a Blu-ray player at home.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and then I have a giant tube TV that doesn't help me at all make things look better whatsoever. Here's the second part of the plan.
Get
is
a
that
Vizio.
Katie's birthday is in March and mine is in April, and all we're asking for is Best Buy gift cards so we can buy a big TV.
There you go.
There you go. Everything's
Vizio.
falling in
Very
place.
nice.
2008!
Man,
I'm gonna have to put a warning in the text.
That's number 2.
That says to turn your volume down.
I tell you what, it's pretty clear that this team got a lot of rest over the holidays because everybody, man, you listen to the last podcast or two before the holidays, and everybody's like, here we go. And now it's like speaker.
I was excited when I
Speaker
woke up today. Man, I love Beyond. Let's do it. Last week was a joke. It sucked. We shouldn't even come in.
Greg is beyond.
I loved your
Everybody was all like,
your impression of yourself when you were waking up this morning was my favorite thing. Like
I remember.
like your alarm goes off, you're like, Beyond, let's go! Start
I
the
was
day!
ready to go.
If you actually did that when you woke up, that'd be awesome.
oh man.
Wow.
Ryan, let's do this one fast. Ryan, what'd you play over the break? Yeah, don't even give details. Just name the games.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Devil May Cry 4, actually.
Jeff.
I had a lot. I had Mass Effect, more Ratchet, PGR4, Forza, COD4, a couple other ones that I can't even remember anymore.
They were obviously very important to you.
I probably played or beat about a dozen games.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
When I was out of the water.
I'll tell you, I played Half-Life 2 Episode 2 finally.
Did you love
I'm
it?
saving them all.
I gave up on playing through Half-Life 2 again, and
You just skipped episode 2.
Was it just taking too long? Or?
It was just taking me too long. I
Yeah.
skipped episode 2. And then I spent about 5 hours trying to set up my computer to play Crysis, and it still didn't work.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
So that was good. Let's
Brutal.
see. Moving on, Darlac21 wants to know, wasn't SOCOM one of the biggest titles for the PS2? Why isn't the PS3 version of the new SOCOM receiving more press/hype? I would think that a year after its launch, this would be the game that would help convert PS2 owners.
they're
I'll
not
tell you what
talking
happened
about
there.
it, huh?
Yeah, they're not really talking about it. I'll tell you what. So Sony announced SOCOM Confrontation back at the Gamers Day in, what was it, May of last
May.
year. And since then, that's been all we've heard. It was supposed to come out last year, but then I think quickly they realized it wasn't going to happen because even when they announced it in May, they were like, they've only been working on it since January. It was only in 5 months of development. So
And isn't it a different developer, too?
yeah, it's Slant 6.
Yeah.
Same guys that did
Tactical
Tactics.
Strike.
Yeah, Tactical Strike. So, yeah, that game just wasn't far enough along. And so Sony said, you know what, we're not even going to bother to talk about it. We'll let the holidays run through, and then we'll come back and we'll see about it. So we should be hearing more about SOCOM pretty soon, I would assume. Yeah, we got to get more
Yay.
info on that. But Syntax wants to know, with developers now getting to grips with the PS3, do you think, like Trenton has said, that they will use the PS3 as a lead platform or continue to use the 360 as before? I'll tell you, most developers will use the platform that has sold with the largest install base as the lead platform. That's not going to be true for everything. I mean, Burnout Paradise is lead platform PS3. There's going to be other games that are, true. But you look at huge multi-platform games like Madden or whatever. That's likely to stay PS3 as 360 as a lead platform until the PS3 outsells it, just because that's where the numbers are. If the PS3 version starts outselling the 360 one, even if the numbers are less than, or even if the hardware sales are less, then then it might change over to PS3 as a lead. But I think the fact of lead platform is becoming less and less necessary. Back in the last gen, when you had Xbox versus PS2, you're talking about texture resolution, about whether you were doing, comparatively high-res textures on the Xbox versus the PS2 one. But it doesn't matter as much anymore because they all have the same amount of memory and blah blah blah.
The only thing that could possibly sway a little bit of it is whether or not some people decide to start using the space on the Blu-ray for more things
this is true.
instead of the 360 DVD.
Except that in that case, you start running into having to actually hack the game apart in order to make it fit on DVD, and
Right.
so on Anyway, but for now, I say the 360 is going to stay lead platform for a fair bit of games, but
I've heard some doing it though.
yeah, some
people are
Because
changing
it's more
over.
complicated, they say, so then it's easier to transfer.
LHK2 wants to know the install feature of DMC4 .. Are you guys using it? And does it improve load times, Jeff?
I mean, it's necessary.
Yes, you have to, or at least the preview version that we had, you have to, because that's the only way that you can actually play the game. Now, the plus of that is that it practically eliminates most of the load times. I mean, it is one of those things where it is almost seamless. I mean, you maybe get that now loading screen for half a second to a second, and then you're right back in the action.
I thought it was a little more, wasn't it?
It's not, though, especially if you compare it to the 360 version, the 360
that's
preview
true.
version that we have in the office. That's at least 5 to 10 seconds, depending upon the level.
OMG.
It is significant, and because the 360 doesn't have an install option, the PS3 one obviously was the lead platform on it. Huge advantage when it comes to that.
We60 wants to know, what are the chances of Final Fantasy XIII releasing in the United States this year?
my skin.
Final Fantasy 13 coming out in the US. All right, Ryan,
luck.
since you're so, since this affects you personally so much.
I love the series, but I don't know if they're going to finish it on time. I mean, that's up at maybe not. Maybe like super late in the year, maybe one of the versions of the game.
Now, the question
but
is if it's coming out in the US. I say no. I say there's no way in hell.
Oh, no.
I-
Well,
I
I
probably
say there's no way in
maybe
hell in the US.
Would
Yeah,
you
maybe,
even say maybe
no.
in Japan or no?
I don't
Even
even-
one? Like maybe 13 or 13 versus?
I don't even think. Well, I'm sure Versus is probably going to be like 2009, but I seriously doubt that they'll be able to get 13 up by the end of this year. It just seems like there's so much that they're reaching for with this one that it's going to be a stretch or
They
a
have
huge
been working
push.
on it for too long, right?
Yeah.
It's only been like...
It's the amount of time that they've been putting in on it, and the fact that they're trying to do something so large and so epic with both of them. I can't see that coming out this year. It could, and if they do, I mean, they've got like teams
You
that
will
are
eat
just
your
like,
shoe.
Yeah, I probably will.
Jeff will eat his shoe on Podcast Beyond
Yes,
if it comes out this year.
but I mean, like they'd have to dedicate like almost their entire Japanese like team to the entire thing, and I don't think they're doing that with all the other games.
I guess not, yeah.
Metaltopia asks, with devil horns raised, when do you think GTA 4 will release? October? Question mark. Rockstar has said it's if it's I forget if it was Q1 or Q2 of its financial quarters, but regardless, it's between the February to April timeframe. And I mean, it's almost certainly going to be April, just to give them more time, so it's at the end. So look forward in April. The Daedric Prince wants to know: do you think we will hear more new information on God of War 3?
More new?
Or a new trailer of the game, which would be the first trailer of the game at E3 2008. You know what? I think the announcement for God of War 3 came very prematurely, just because when Cory Barlog left Sony Santa Monica, they said, we need some positive news in this thing. So here, hey, we are working on God of War 3. Like, nobody didn't know that already. Amazing. But I don't think they're going to talk about it anytime soon. There may be something like, during their, Sony's montage of here's games coming up for the system at E3, they might flash like a God of War 3 logo, or we might see Kratos like jump off a mountain and slice something in half. But I think you're going to see. I think my guess is
that's the trailer.
But it's not even going to be a trailer. It's just going to be like a flash amongst other things, just so you know that Remember when Nintendo first announced Metroid coming to the Wii, even before the Wii really had a name, they just showed Samus just like jump off a cliff and that was it. I think at most that's going to be the same sort of thing where you'd be like, okay, it's coming, cool. We see a picture of Kratos or whatever, but I don't think you're going to see video until, I don't know, next year probably.
They'll probably do another one of those websites where it's just like, countdown coming.
Too.
Perhaps. Says two. This is a crazy number. Says 200014.
This is a crazy
it's
number.
It's like says 200,014. Once apparently 200,013 says as we're digging. When will the Rock Band full album downloads come out? Also, can you tell us which ones are coming other than Who's Next? Well, Nevermind was announced, but I don't know when the albums are coming out. EA and Harmonix are announcing basically on Mondays now, like they just announced today, that it's STP,
Iron Maiden,
and what was the other one this week? Somebody else, anyway. Yeah. So they're announcing the tracks for the week on Monday, and so I guess we won't find out when the albums are coming out until they get around to announcing them. But Nirvana's Nevermind is coming.
Yay!
And which will be a pretty awesome track actually for the game. Let's see where we did that one. And if I can turn the page here, my fingers are cold. Oh god, the last one this is my favorite one of this entire list. Agent Trav wants to know. When will Greg Miller come to my house, or vice versa, hold me close, and sing a duet with me on Rock Band? A prompt answer would be ideal.
Where does Agent Trav live?
He does not specify.
Feel free to post on the boards. We'll see what we can do.
That's all for Reader Mail.
Mail call.
Is done. Is that the ending?
Sad mail.
What was that?
7 days till more mail. Post them on the boards. Don't email us because we don't really click off the emails all that much. Post on the boards. Stop emailing us, please.
You know what it's time for?
Mail call.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Oh god. I guess our pick of the week has to be what? Harvey Birdman, right?
That's kind of hard to say. I played Sonic Riders as well. So, yeah, I'd go Harvey Birdman. In my experience, Harvey Birdman.
All right, very good.
If you like Harvey Birdman,
if you like games,
it's only gonna be like $30 as well.
If you like games and you like Harvey Birdman, you like lawyer simulators.
Yeah. Well, this one's more comedy. This is more if you like cartoon simulators. You get 5 episodes on one UMD basically, and then you play through them.
Do they have any episodes that you can just watch?
No.
Is there a
not even on the
collector's- is
PS2
there a
version?
collector's edition that comes with episodes?
I'm playing through PSP right now. PS2 just got here the other day. And what now? Not even the collector's edition.
Collector's edition of Harvey Birdman. Comes with like season 1. That'd be awesome.
I mean, the way this
$400.
plays, it feels like an episode, so I don't think you have to really worry about watching it.
Can you put it on autoplay to where you just sit back and watch the computer play?
But
for
you could just circle around the board hitting X and eventually...
See, I don't want to play Harvey. I want to watch Harvey Birdman.
Well, the clips are worth it.
I mean, I want to play Harvey Birdman, but sometimes I just want to watch.
The credits are really good, too.
Sometimes when I don't feel like moving any part of my body, and I just want to sit there. I just want to watch.
move your thumb. You want to move your thumb.
Too
I
much.
just want to
Too much.
and enjoy.
Are you guys? Have you, Greg?
Editor
You and Ryan? Did you guys
beatdown.
set up an editor beatdown for
Editor
the week?
Beatdown.
You know there's
Vision
gonna be
2.0.
Yeah.
Ryan?
What voice is that?
It's my editor beatdown voice. Is it not good enough?
Let's hear more of that. That's pretty good.
The editor beatdown's gonna be on Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Wasn't
you
that a
better
Snake
believe we're
imitation?
gonna.
Yeah, it's like a modified snake.
It's different than Snake. It's better. Keep going.
Keep
Keep
going.
We'll critique it.
Keep going.
going.
I want to hear this. I want to see how long it takes for you to throw out your voice.
Yeah, because I'm sick too.
Oh.
We're gonna be playing Resistance on the new maps, so you better download them quick. And then you're gonna kick our asses in those maps, and you're gonna like it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to come back because we don't have to do this, but we do anyway because we love you.
Oh.
That's very
Good
sweet.
night.
There'll be a board post Wednesday
Schmoopy.
night telling you more about it.
Yes. So look for Greg or I's board post, and 8 Pacific time.
8 Pacific
remember.
time, which
8
is
11 Eastern time
4 in the morning Japan time.
for our Japanese listeners.
What about Lithuania?
I don't know. Screw them.
Damn it.
Where were they when we need them? Coalition of the Willing.
They have a basketball team in the Olympics.
Yeah?
I mean, that's enough for them to play resistance against us.
Lithuania sounds like lithium, and that's a battery.
It's also the name of a Nirvana song.
Oh, yeah.
There
There you
we're
go.
coming full circle.
Full circle.
Medication.
Coming full circle. All right.
My voice hurts now.
Do we have anything else for this week? It looks like we're at the end of my
I thought you were
little
going to
sheet
critique
here.
his voice thing.
I like the voice
Now
thing.
it's over? Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Oh, it's over. Okay.
done
Oh,
with that.
boy.
We'll save it till next week.
Okay.
I like that a lot, though. Do we have anything else to add for this week? My left headphone just went out, sort of.
Oh, no.
God.
Done it all.
It's
Connie the snap.
maybe kick your wire.
Yeah.
I do that a lot during the show.
I don't know what's happening here.
Just disconnect his
this place is
microphone.
like a. It's like a.
Minefield.
Yeah, well,
It's
no,
just
it's not. It's like
cables
a,
everywhere.
It's remember in Indiana Jones: The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana falls down.
snake.
Indiana falls down in the
snake
pit, going
pit.
at, and he all of a sudden he comes up and there's the cobra in front of
Yeah.
him. Although there's a glass between,
You can
them,
clearly
his reflection.
see.
It's like that on the ground in here with cables, and I think if there might actually be a rattlesnake in here.
I want to put it past him.
I think that's all of our content for this week. Do we have a song?
We do.
Oh, thank God.
Listeners were nice enough to submit ones. Two of my favorites were "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees, of course. Moosey McMahon
that's a
submitted
good
that.
one.
And then an obvious favorite, "Ghostbusters," was submitted by
Hey.
Army Man 82.
I like
Nice.
that
And
one.
I will put them in the file. But today's
Nice.
winner comes from a listener called Greggy, and I woke up and felt like singing this song. It is, of course, The Who, a quick one while he's away. Many folks will remember it from Rushmore. Anybody? Rushmore?
I like that movie.
Damn right you do.
Sorry.
So when I start, repeating myself, you feel free to drop me out. I can't believe it. Do my ears deceive me? Am I back on Beyond? Away from Dunham's charms. It's like a dream to be on Beyond again. I can't believe that I'm on Beyond again. Boom, doom, 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 doom.
All right.
You are beyond. You are beyond. You are beyond.
Okay,
You
that does
are
it for this week.
beyond. You are beyond, baby. Beyond. You
Jesus.
are beyond.
I think we're going to need some sort of recovery period after this episode. So we will see everybody next week.
Yep.
Peace
Take
out.
care, everybody.
Beyond.
You are beyond, beyond, beyond. You are beyond, beyond. You are beyond, 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 beyond.
Just keep it going.
I'm done.